Good morning, traders. The news just came out, the 8:30. It's relatively large news, so I would suggest waiting 2 to 3 to 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how the news affects the market. So it appears that the market has slowed down. I'm trading the NQ or the NMQ, MNNQ if you're trading the micros. I don't have the ES up right now, but it seems to be tradable. So it shook off the news very quickly. We do have a sticks. which the sticks worked out. Strong upward push. Let's see if we can get a pullback and then a re-entry. Okay. We are getting a pullback. Let's see how far it brings it back down. So we would look for a setup here, back up, although that is a significant pull down. So let's see if we get a spiral. And if the market chooses a direction. And we have 22 minutes until the top of the hour. Plenty of time if we do get a setup here. I'm going to just pre-select spiral up. Just in case. Now we just continue to move down. I'm going to look for more of a setup because now we got more complexity in a potential spiral. below the 200. You notice, again, the trio was quite successful, even though it was above the 200. I often take these, especially on a fib high. There's generally enough movement to find success. And we got a sticks that was successful, and we got another sticks that was successful. But you did have a lot of resistance. So honestly, you could have made your day right there and be finished. And not always, but we do find on many occasions, once the news, let's say, peters out, the movement, we find some very quick, very distinct setups and trades that are successful. And I know many of you guys do funded accounts, or you're attempting to get qualified. I've watched dozens of people that I know are qualified. Some have 10 accounts, and they maintain them, and that's the key. But what they do is, instead of going for huge gains, they'll go for, say, a $200 gain, but they have 10 trades put on. And all you got to do is do the math and see that the earnings are tremendous on that. And they shut down for the day. And some other ones continually take trades, but they won't take it in all the accounts. They'll do, say, 3 or 4 accounts, or one, and they might go for bigger gains, say $500, depending, of course, if you're trading micros or minis. It's basically your trading plan, your ATM settings. So we got a set up here for a potential spiral down. And it's set up for a pretty quick trade. We can also do a rider down, which triggered. And we got about 16 minutes before the top of the hour. Okay. Nice trade for you guys and gals that took it. We'll look for another. Now, we're way extended in that downtrend. Doesn't mean that it won't work. We got a sticks. If you want to take this sticks, press it here. It seems to be relatively clean underneath. If you look over here on the fib area. So we have another potential setup, same way. It could be a spiral down. It could be a rider down. It could be a trio down or a sticks down. Any would fire. The one that generally would fire first is the trio, but if you want some additional confirmation, we want the spiral. And Frank created another assembly for the strategy, which you probably noticed. And you can notice here, the one we just took was not nearly as strong as it is up. We actually got a sticks fired up, which means the market's making more of a push in that direction. Also, the background changed color with the firing of that spiral up. I really like to focus generally on directional. In other words, if it's above the 200, generally stay long. If it's below, generally taking shorts. But I do love, as I pointed out earlier, coming off the daily high and the fibs, and the same on the daily low fib. Just looking at the activity, which was significant, trading in the morning, big trends, which I like to see prior to the market open. Okay. It's relatively slow right now. We have 12 minutes before the top of the hour. And I've got some experienced traders in here also and some new ones. So the new ones, you have to hang in there. It takes a while to become acclimated to the system, but trading in general, it takes a lot of practice. I really like it when we have experienced traders in here too, because they see things that I'm not even aware of, which I like. And I run multiple charts in addition to the one you're seeing, looking for confirmation and maybe an Achilles heel that exists on a trade that might prevent us or maybe encourage us to take. Okay. Unless something becomes extremely obvious, it's at least the NQ is running relatively slow. I will wait till the top of the hour, give it a minute or two. The key is consistency and protecting the account. And honestly, for people that have traded the NQ for a while, this is the date. The NQ can be an absolute monster. I'm running basically a 222.44 bar size, but man, it can take twice that and more easily just to contain the movement to where it's tradable. So right now it's relatively sedate, and I know some of you are trading the ES. I traded the ES for 2 years, just the ES, and the movement was there and it was consistent. And it's come back somewhat. I've been watching it over the last couple of weeks. I try to focus on one chart, not that I can't focus on many. I have several monitors, but I don't want to make it too complex for people where we're trying to chase the CL and then gold and then oil and then the ES and the NQ. I want to stay focused. It's especially important for the newer traders. And I know Frank has expressed it, but our goal is we really want to be people to be successful. We decided that months ago when we started writing the indicators, and starting the room is, and I want to be positive, but I know if you guys have been around for a while, you find that, and I've been there, and it can be tens of thousands of dollars for the software. And I'm not bad mouthing anyone, will never mention anyone's name, but it's not tradable. We want it tradable. And the key is in the pudding. If you take these trades and I know some are already doing it because I see the responses they also take their own trades and, but they're experienced traders. And until you are practice, 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 playback, sim instead of going live until you're profitable. And that is key. You don't want to blow out your account. But you might get to where you can take your, additional own trades and trades quite successfully. And the system is good at isolating trades, but the system doesn't distinguish if you're taking a trade with the trend or against the trend. That's your learning experience. Okay, we got 7 minutes here. Again, I'll show you, and you'll see the trio. Now, this is less obvious, but the trio fired, the spiral fired, and it was successful. It moved painfully slow. Man, that was 8 minutes, 9 minutes, but it was successful. And I'm hoping you're seeing how we started here at the after the 8:30 news calmed down, but there was just opportunity. Even right here, and I'll point it out, you can give it 5 minutes. You could have taken the sticks, but you would have had to notice, and you would have noticed if you were watching it. It moved from here to here in basically seconds, not even a minute, but it had started slowing down. So this was a potential what I wouldn't have taken it, because if you notice this line, that's the high fib line. And it's pushing into the high fib. And the momentum was huge. We saw it. And then let's say it petered out, which I don't know if that's term very appropriate, but we'll use it nonetheless. And then it signaled the trio. And I said, I like this. Once people are more acclimated to what we're doing, we did call it, but we didn't take it. But we'll at least call these as a relatively high probability trade. You could have taken the rider here, and you could have taken the sticks, which is a wick. So right here, 1, 2, 3 trades, even 4, which I personally don't take those, but because it's so far down into the trend, sitting straggling, it's staggered over a fib. But I like it, and so does Frank, when we get a significant pullback, and both are signal here. The sticks retrace, so it would trigger this, and it would also trigger this down. And the only reason I'm telling you that is so if you haven't played with it and done the proper documentation study, you understand that. And I many times will just take the trio, and you notice the trio will fire prior to the rider. It's quick. That's why we created it. And it was created in partly because the movement was so restricted, especially if you've traded for several months, and the ES got so tight that to be successful, you needed to get in, get your profit quickly, and get out prior to the reversal. Now, the NQ moves more, and the ES now is moving a little better. But that was the reason we created it, was not to get additional confirmation, say from right here, which you would have fired a spiral, and it was successful. But we try to adjust to the market. Let's see. Yeah, I see a lot of you are doing extremely well today. That's excellent. I love it. That is our goal. We truly love to see it. Get 1 minute to the top of the hour. And Frank and I both are open to suggestions. Even positive feedback on criticism, we can take it. Now, we're not looking for somebody to, just to be rude, and you haven't been, but we're looking for true feedback. We want to perfect it the best we can and adjust where we need to adjust if it's applicable across the board. Frank and I started back years ago trading and creating indicators and programming on multi-charts. And Frank is a remarkable programmer. And as time progressed, it turned out that Ninja Trader moved, in our opinion, forwards with the ability to create indicators, systems, strategies, and multi-charts, which their programming was in easy language, same as TradeStation. Matter of fact, they were the programmers some Russian guys in TradeStation. Okay, we're 1 minute into the top of the hour, and we're getting a reversal, which is common. Almost always. And we got a trio right into that reversal. Rider signaled. I personally wouldn't have taken that. I would have taken the trio, but we have, some double pivots up top, excuse me, and the 200 moving average and the same fib that we were straddling earlier in the day. But we welcome comments from everyone.
Hey, Ben, real quick, it says somebody's I'm getting a message that someone's waiting to jump in here.
I admitted them.
Okay, great.
But we love feedback. Let's see. Got some chat here.
So yeah, generally so we can do a Q&A after the session's over, but yeah, you can have them both selected, and whichever one completes first will be the first one that it fires on.
The good thing there is it cleans the slate once you take a trade. So the strategy was built so you wouldn't have double or triple entries. So honestly, many times I will select more than one. Let's say I see a down direction. Now, if I want extra confirmation, I will do spiral, because the spiral does some additional confirmation that can be really beneficial, especially if the market is being choppy. I mean, right now it's tradable, but if we look at it, I mean, we're caught up in a channel, and it's a nice channel, and it's tradable. It's not tight that you can get into crazy tight. And the ES is, in the past, you can get into a channel that would just chew you alive if you're trying to take trades, and we encourage people not to. But this is tradable. You could have made a living right here with just a trio. And again, I apologize, because I know some of you are experienced traders, but we're going to cater to bring everyone on board to the level of being as much as possible a profitable trader. And all of us, especially that have been around for a while, have made every mistake in the world, done the dumbest things in retrospect, and it's human nature. So that top of the arrow, it moved, but it certainly wasn't dramatic. But you can notice, and this is what I want to point out, it happens every day. Not exactly on the hour, but you notice at 9 o'clock, and I said, and it tends to, let's say, a high percentage of the time, reverse direction. Now, this wasn't a huge reversal, but it absolutely reversed and made a profitable trade. And you could have gotten a profitable off the spiral or the trio, but you'd have been hard pressed on the rider. And the rider basically measures an acceleration in movement. But if you got this type of resistance up top and you're not already in, and you take the trade, this is for guys, and some of them already know it, gals, you want to, in general, I want to pull it down below that pivot. Yes, you won't get the same number of points, but you won't turn around and get stopped out for, depending on how your ATM set, for twice the potential profit for a loss that big. So what are we looking for here? For you new guys, we want it to break out. And move in one direction or the other. And right now it's trying to break out back long. And why? We had a huge move down. So we're probably going to get an upward movement. So here, if this is for me, once it breaks out, many times I'll just take it. But I do like, in most cases, to see another setup, say a sticks. And someone just asked about, doing multiple selections. It's not bad to just select, and it takes a lot of the workload off of you. And that's why we created this strategy. And this was, I mean, obviously Frank is the programmer, and he did a tremendous job. It can take a huge amount of stress because this is, of course, is tied to your ATM. So the generalization is, once you're in the trade, the strategy will take over. Now, I just explained about pulling down below the pivot, which is manual, but that's just a matter of becoming even a more proficient and understanding trader about the market. The next big move will be on the half hour. Of course, in this case, it's the market open. It happens all day long. And again, I reiterate, it doesn't happen exactly, let's say at 9 o'clock, there's not a bell and it says, okay, I'm going to change direction. It could be 9:05 or 8:58. So you have to be flexible. And I've had people in the past would say, oh, you said the market moves at 9 and I took the trade. Well, there wasn't a trade, but it was 9. Well, you have to be more discerning than that. And you'll get that with time. Let's see what we got here. That diamond is, and it depends on which one, is if we go to our indicators and go to Clearview, it actually shows where one of these setups occur. For instance, a spiral, and I'll point that out. If we look at the spiral, and I'm not sure I have it on this chart, but even for instance here, the sticks was selected, and because we have it on, it shows an indication that the indicator is showing a signal. And the others do the same thing, other than I don't think Frank ever put one on Rider because the bar is so obvious. It changes color, then you don't really need it. So let's see, we got and they generally occur when you got a pivot, because just think about it. You do get pushback, which is exactly what happened here. And that was very successful. And you were in a rider, so you knew the momentum was strong, but you got a pushback off the pivot. we're working on something. I can't be too specific, but for people looking at funded traders or not even funded, but that will take a trade instead of waiting like the sticks, waits until the bar completes and it fires on the next bar. But we've experimented with a pullback in a strong trend where you get in here and you complete, depending on your ATM setting, of course, but it's completed just as the natural movement of the market bar back up. And that's more of something we're looking at, and we haven't finished it. We're studying it. We study for hours, which is there's so many people doing funded traders that we're doing things specific for that. It doesn't mean that it's going to be not usable to people that are just trading their own account and in a different manner, because you must trade differently for a funded account. And now we got a strong movement. See, this is a typical. I want you to see this for the newer people. The 9 o'clock came and we called it. We said, hey, top of the hour, we get something. This didn't just move like this, guys, like by magic. It took volume to move this, and we all know how the market is moved. We had you look at it. This is 8:30, and it was a news window, so it's not totally applicable. But you got to move up, and then we got a reversal down. 9 o'clock comes, we got a reversal up. And people ask, and I know most of you been around know this, I do trade a live account. We're not, it's stupid, but you're not really allowed to do that, and you will get creamed because it's enticement according to SEC. If you show your live account, you can trade it, but you can't present it. So I've got my own chart over on the left-hand side. Okay, we got a sticks. It's potentially high. Let's look at this fibs. But remember that trend has moved up a huge amount. I would be reticent to take this right now. Doesn't mean it won't be successful. It's a strong move up. So usually, not always, when I get a winning trade, let's say at the top of the hour or the half hour, and the trend moves on up, I don't take the next trade. I wait basically for a really good setup, like a pullback on the 200 and say a spiral back up. So if we look at this right here, let's say we were doing the indicator that I just told you, it would fire down here. And as you went up, and remember, in this case, this is a 22 tick bar. You would be out about right here, depending on your setting. And for funded traders, they're normally not looking at huge trades. Now, even extended trends tend to work. And if you're interested in that, make a comment. If that's something you could use if you're funded trader, or you're working on funded trader, if you would find that beneficial. And it would be done automatically. Now you set the ATM, so it's not, I'm gonna, if I hit clear, it clears everything I've selected, and I hit clear because that's a big movement down. Doesn't mean it won't be successful. It would have been successful with, we'll call it the funded indicator. Matter of fact, we might even name it something cute. But we're working on it, and we're not going to just put something out willy-nilly. We will test it and test it and test it and test it. So if you took that, it would have worked out if you took it as the funded indicator. Now we're getting a pullback to the 200. We got about 14 minutes before the 9:30 open, and you definitely don't want to be in a trade. I mean, the market's whipped drastically. It'll take out your longs and your shorts for your less seasoned traders. And Frank and I are toying with a lot of ideas. One is, and there's nothing set in stone. We're talking about doing a separate session, let's say at 10 o'clock. And that's when a lot of the big traders trade the NQ. Just the whole criteria would be on funded traders trying to create rules and establish different indicators, really, just like I just explained. And we have 3 in mind already, but it would be more for quick movement, other than we already have, and a lot of you already have seen, profitable trades, and it'll keep you out a lot of the garbage. If that's something you're interested in, comment, because it takes a lot to, it takes a lot of effort to set up a total different approach. But I kind of like it because so many people can find success. Okay. There's going to be a spiral here, likely, or a trio. If you want to select it, a trio, we can do it there. The thing that I don't like is we're getting very close to the 9:30 and open, and you can get caught without hitting your profit. It's better, honestly, to just get out if you're really close. Let's say you're within a minute or two, because probably, I don't know the exact percentage, but right before the market can whip, say 9:28, 9:29. I'm gonna clear that, but I just wanted to show that. We'll see if the trio fires. And the other thing is, we got this, it's called the swing pivot, which is part of the Ninja suite. Okay. You can see the erratic movement. Now we got a trio down. You see how we're just approaching it. We got 10 minutes yet, and we're getting all sorts of movement. I would personally wait till after, say, 9:35. So we are getting some participation potential with just the funded approach. I have studied and studied and studied. It seems that there is approach, and honestly, not everyone, because they graduate to minis, but most start with micros with that account. And there's a certain approach, and I'm not saying we're geniuses at it because I'm not doing funded. I just do my own thing. But if we did what we talked about, I would probably do a funded just to participate with that approach. And again, we're talking futures, and you know how futures are. It's like fortune telling. They can change from day to day. But I believe the trend is extremely strong. And this is just my opinion. And it's just that. There's so many different funded accounts. One of the major ones, if not the major ones, they never let you trade a live account. You're trading a simulated account. And if you win, they actually pay you from all the traders that are blown out every day by paying the fees and trying to establish an account. And there are others that take a percentage of the winning, but you still get the majority of it. And you're trading a live account when you qualify. Then they do tightly control it for the drawdown. But if you think about it, if they're doing it the other way, that essentially essentially is let me try to put this diplomatically, is essentially a Ponzi scheme, because it's like they're paying from other members. So you want to be selective on which account, in my opinion, you choose. Now, and I know there was one account that did that, and they actually had a trader. They owed $1 million, and they paid him late, her, but they actually paid it, which should show you how many people are winning and how many people are losing when they select to try to get a funded account. And that's our goal. If we do this, would be, we either got to wrap it up, within our general trading, or get specificity. And it depends on how many people we get want to participate. But I think the future is going to be in funded accounts, because if you can do a good enough job, I mean, I know this for a fact. They show live accounts that have 10 funded accounts, and depends on the funding company. Some of them are up to $100,000 a piece. Now, you can't do 10 accounts overnight. They'll do one, and they become a master, and there's a rule set. So we're on support. We got 5 minutes. I would personally not take anything right now. I'd wait till, most people wait 5 to 10 minutes prior, to the market fluctuation till it stabilizes after the 9:30 open. But it can stabilize in 3 minutes. It's flexible. There's a good setup. It's below the 200. And everyone knows that 200 is kind of the demarcation set in the sand. And I generally run the VWAP also, which most of you probably know, but it's a volume weighted moving average. So it's where the volume action is located. And it can be another strong delineation. So we're going to probably get oh, no. You see how unstable it is. If you'd have jumped in on that up bar close above the 200, you would have immediately stopped out. If you guys have any questions, Frank's online. I believe he's still here, and he can answer them for you. And if you have a question, and we don't answer it, we will answer it. I usually focus on the market so intently, and I do glance at the chat, but I'm looking at the clocks. I'm looking at resistance in multiple charts to try to clean up the potential trades. Clean up, I mean, okay, there's some resistance maybe you're not seeing or support you're not seeing. And we're open. If you got ideas that would be beneficial, we'd love to see them. You just keep in mind that we can create an indicator fairly quickly, but we're not going to just throw it out there. To have an extra indicator. Really, even over here on your charts, and most people figured this out. I move all this over to a different chart. I use it all the time, but you can clutter a chart up to where it's, in my opinion, is not even tradable. It's just subject to guesswork. Oh, this is saying this, and this is saying that. And I've said this a zillion times, but the midline, the 382 and 681 are known to reverse the market in a lot of cases. And many times, if we look at it right here, you can come down, and this is by design. Like, okay, we got a breakout. Let's go short. Bam. It's immediately flip back up. Well, that's by design. Now it's just chop, and the market just opened, so it's going to go. And there it goes. Ironically, I mean, you could actually select sticks here, and it can win because with the strategy. And it did. So that would have filled with our, if it didn't, we got limit 1. So it's the limit plus 1. And if you select it early enough, and I know many of you know how the market works, you're in line first. on anticipation of a trade. There goes another one, and that one won. So there was 2 sticks in a row that won that you would not likely have gotten into without the strategy. That's the power of the strategy. And here, if you'd have just selected market the way they, and you're not in line, they will fill you if they do, usually where the market's going to reverse. And a lot of that's by design, not by animus against the trader, but it's basically they fill limit first. They're required to. The limits are there in line, and they fill them in line. So after, if you're not in there relatively early, you're bound to not meet the +1 criteria of the limit. Okay, we got a reversal. And we're only 1 minute and 2 minutes and 14 seconds into the trade. And it's moving fast, but it's tradable. And a lot of times it's not. I mean, it's just, especially with the 2244, 22244 bar size. I mean, part of the week I was using the 23264, and it was still difficult. So we have to adjust. We have to have the ability to adjust even in the middle of the day of our trading session. All right, here, this trio is going to work, and I guarantee that worked. We get so many trading opportunities, and I'm running my mouth calling trades versus even actually taking these, but it's really important for me to point out trades. And try to communicate and take trades. Now, I do have my own setup. So we underneath a pivot, and you can see how we create sticks. These sticks are created by the pivot because it's pushing the market down. It's pushing the market down. You could select sticks up here, retrend up, and the retrend is actually what we showed earlier, where it changes bar color coming down from, say, in this case, they'd turn white and then trigger back long. Okay, we clear that immediately, because if you forget, that's where this can hurt you. You want to make sure you don't leave it on, because it will trigger out of the clear blue and you'll think, oh, something's wrong with the system. I didn't even have any. You don't remember you left a selection on, and it will hurt you. So we didn't win that, but we're likely to win this. And if we don't, we'll probably get another shot, because the third shot almost always pushes through, and then the second shot sometimes pushes through of the resistance, which a lot of you traders already know that. Okay. If you look at this whole thing, just say from 1 minute into the open, it's been running a tight channel. And this is just me, but for the last, honestly, quite a while, I find better trades before the 9:30 than many, at least on the NQ, it tends to, and actually the ES too a lot. Most day trading rooms will say, let's wait till 9:40. What I found is maybe the market makers are aware of it, or maybe it's just circumstance, but you get a lot of chop at 9:40, 9:50, 9:55, and 9:10 open. You just, to my opinion, and that's strictly what it is. You don't want to be in a trade right at 9:10 because, boy, you can get some whip. But once it settles down, you can get some big trends between, say, 10:05 and even after 11. 11 is the squaring time for positions with the excuse me, London Exchange. And you can see that right here. It's just, it will break out generally. Again, it's not that I'm prophetic, but it's just basically what it's been doing. And this will eat you alive, especially if you've got a large ATM target setting and a short stop setting. It takes a big stop to control the NQ. It takes way less of a stop to control the ES or the CL or even gold. We talked about trading more positions, so more opportunities, but we normally find enough opportunities in the NQ. We were finding plenty with the ES, and it's much easier to trade. We don't want to clutter up. I mean, a lot of people only have one monitor, maybe even a laptop, which I suggest you get a large monitor because you actually see things better. Okay. Now this is close to the 9:40 window. And you had a sticks that was tradable. And you could have had it just pre-selected once this started. You see if I start seeing the rider, which is the color change, many times I'll come in here and just set it like we got one here, and we'll do it just for a trial. There's nothing below it. Now we got, and it will fire off of this same setting. We got a retrend. And it sticks up, which if it pushes down will disappear. We'll clear this because we don't like it. Looks like it's going to go back up. And again, we see the trio. We're staying up in the higher area. That was a perfect trade. We love the trio, and that's why we created it. I probably have your name wrong, but is it Enoch? If it's wrong, I probably butchered your name, but okay. Nice. And you obviously have some knowledge. When you say you did open up, you selected that from the strategy itself? Okay, nice. I use that all the time, and I tell you where where it's useful. It's when you are stuck in a consolidation. And let's say you get one bar out, like I showed you earlier, where they shot one bar up and flipped it back down. Let's say you want to take that second bar for confirmation. It works flawlessly. And I really appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate chat. I normally, when I'm in a trading room, I was focused and not. I get so super focused. I probably learned that because I'm a pilot, and pilots are you either focus or get killed in an airplane, and that is the truth. And I follow flying now. Don't fly much. I sold my airplane and blah blah. But it comes across on Microsoft. But I see 2 or 3, sometimes 4 or 5 fatal plane crashes weekly in the U.S. alone. And all right, we got another trio, and it's probably going to work. It's getting some resistance. This one could easily have tripped you up. They don't all work, but they mostly work. So now we got a big push down. I don't like this. I like this breakout. And Enoch took it, and I actually took one of the signals, which I love to take the first wick or sticks. I'm more reticent to take the second one. This one was okay because it was a strong trend and it still hadn't moved. But when it gets up in here, and you have to play it by ear, there's no 100% defined rule. It's I won't say it's gut feel because gut feel will kill you, but you have to look over here and this was still clean on the second one, but it was very close to the fib high. And you see it was such a strong trend that you can see the push up into the daily high fib. And then it reversed. And then this is chop, chop, no movement. And even the downtrend, we have a sticks, and it's straddling the 200. The sticks, yeah, you would have been okay to select that sticks because it had to push down back down here the way we built the sticks to fire. And if it fired down there, and a lot of you know this, but you wanna like the 200, you're way more likely to win if the body of the bar clears the actual, say in this case, the 200, or if it was a fib, because once they clear it, they're not likely to reverse it. But when you got this set up, it's so easy to reverse. We had another setup. Unless you had set up for a trio here. Now you could have set up because you already saw the swing pivot, but you would have had to have been quick. I'm not trading this right now because I don't like it. I liked this. I mean, I've been with the ES. You can get caught in it. And Enoch's watching the ES. Are you seeing the same thing over on the ES? I don't have that chart up, Enoch. Is it choppy or is it clear? Okay. Yeah, this is we're pretty close to where I'm in profit, and I'm really reticent to continue to take trades when I got a really good profit. Why? Because in the past you have a really good profit and you get into this. I'm telling you, this is occurring a lot every day. Normally day trading rooms wait till 9:30 to open, and then they'll wait till say 9:35. And you would have found some trades today with the NQ, and Enoch found some with the ES. I've seen people try to create chop indicators, and they're a joke. What they do to me, and again, I'm being blunt and rude, but they keep you out of good trades. And yeah, they might keep you out of some bad ones, but it's broken out and run hard before they normally trigger. Frank and I worked just to see if we could find something that was relevant, that was tradable. And we did everything, like the 89 crossing the two. Well, if you wait until then, you've missed 3 or 4 trades. Yeah, this is going to break down. It looks like 946-ish. Something I've noticed, and I do trade all the time, is the pre-market. Normally, they advocate not to trade before the 9:30 open, but I found that there's some nice clean trades many times at say 7 o'clock. I don't want to right now open a room, let's say, that early, because if we take a ton of traders taking the same thing, I'm not sure about the liquidity. But that's just a note. And once many traders in a room, and they'll take just the trades that are called, and they will win. And some, like Enoch, they know enough about trading to also take their own trades. And he's trading the ES, and we're trading the NQ. And we may trade both at the same time in the future, but I don't want to right off the bat just encumber people with so much information that they throw in the towel, because it takes a while to learn this. Now this right here, you can see all the resistance here. So if it gets close, and it's already pushing back before it even gets there. But if you got in here, you would definitely want to pull your initial target down below this. And a lot of people have 2 targets and break even after the first target. What I normally do, if I'm running 2 targets there, I pull both targets down below that and just take, and it's a nice profit when you take both targets. Let's say it's 10 ticks or 15 ticks or 20 ticks. And 2 or 4 contracts. Don't be greedy, especially if you're a funded trader. If you have questions, please leave it. Frank and I will get back with you. So that sticks here was a good bet. And it was a good bet, and I'll show you. Because if you look right here, the spiral fired, and the spiral is an indication of multiple confirmations. And so if you didn't take the spiral, you could very quickly have just hit the sticks down. This one I wouldn't take because it's right below the pivot called swing pivot on your chart. And it worked. But it's a higher risk trade. And I'm at profit. I know funded traders that only, and it doesn't say it's Enoch, but I think it's Enoch, the London Exchange. And not just for the NQ or the ES. They trade gold, they trade oil, they trade platinum. I mean, I try to focus and learn everything. You traded CL and gold, GC. It's in there's so many markets. The Asian market's big, especially on the NQ because they put NQ on all kinds of platforms. And it seems like the Asians use all kinds of funky platforms, and there's a lot of Forex guys to trade it. Yes, and I, believe it or not, stay in the Asia a lot, Thailand, Philippines. And those markets can tend to trend. Now they can be terrible, but there's some tremendously good trades, say at 3 a.m. our time, Eastern, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. There's the mindset's got to be there's so many opportunities that I'm not going to just throw the ball up against the wall or the poop. I'm going to be selective and thoughtful when I take a trade. And trust me, sometimes I still take a stupid trade. But when you do, then you have to work hard to get. It takes about, with the NQ, it literally takes about a minimum twice the stop to the target when you're trading like this, not higher. If you get a big bar and you're trading bigger trends, it's totally different. Or you can take one target and break even, but it better be a good target because the way the bar moves, it will hit that break even 95% of the time. And on this, I'm trading one target right now because of the movement on the NQ. See, we got a sticks here, but it's still trying to move off of this pivot back up. And you notice we're really getting close to the 10 a.m. and it starts prior to 10 a.m. We're going to adjust it. We're going to take feedback and adjust the market times the best we can to accommodate the traders and choose the most lucrative times, which can change. And we don't want to be all over the map. Oh, today we're going to do this, which is what we're doing right now, sort of. We have to accommodate the news. There's no sense if you got, say, 9:45 news and you open at 9:30, you're probably going to get two things. One is you're going to get choppy movement until the news or none. I've seen it sit on a bar for 40 minutes, one bar. And 9:45 is going to ruin it. Most professionals, they won't trade until after 10 and a good bit after 10, say 10:10 if they got 9:45 news. So we want to accommodate the room where it makes sense. But on the other hand, we got people in the room now that have regular jobs. So it's a work in progress, and we want to make it our work in progress, meaning our traders and us. Yeah. So you got a job also. I traded, and I had a really good job in my career, which has been retired. But back in the day, they had stock splits, and I'm kind of a crooked guy. He's dead now. He went to prison for his antics, but the amount of money you could make, especially if you had enough capital to put on, say, a $20,000 position, and that went away, and most people gave back every bit of it, but you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So things come and go, markets adjust, and you have to stay adept at following the market. And this broke out. It's too close to 10 for me. And we're close. I'm gonna close the room at 10. Frank, are you still here?
Yep, I'm still here. So if you guys got if you want to hang out and want to
Yeah, that's what I'm
have any
thinking.
questions,
Because Frank is a market wizard as far as he's one of the best programmers that you could imagine. And we want to take your insight, your thoughts. If you want to hang out and ask questions, we can stay here. Now, Enoch, you said you had to go also. So which indicator, the small diamond? I could not find it. Where is it, Enoch? Let me see if I got it on my chart, because I did not. Oh, on the ES, I'll pull the ES up. Hold on. I got to change. It'll take a minute for this to load. And I might even lock up my whole program. Let's see. So give me the time frame right now. Oh, that is actually the spiral that occurred at let's see, eight. Let's see. I'm missing data by doing that. Let me reload. I find that if I change symbols in the middle of a run, NinjaTrader, especially the newer version, will lock up, which is a nightmare. Okay, now we got, yeah, that is spiral firing. Frank, you see that on the ES? This is not, something. I gotta change the bar size. What bar are you running? 1510. Okay. I gotta change to Unirenco. And I got 1510. Let me look at it. It might be something else. Man, there's a lot of chop in it. Yeah, you're trading good. So you just got a blue dot. I mean, a green dot, right? Yes. That is spiral.
yeah, what indicators do you have on your chart?
Okay. And for you guys that aren't chatting, and I know when you're new is you don't want to chat, but there's no dumb questions, and we understand. He's got stick, spiral, trio, and rider. The rider doesn't signal. It's just the bar. The trio signals. The spiral signals.
Oh well, you're running quite a bit. Yeah, so the rider changes the bar color, the trio gives you the little circles, the spiral gives you the diamond, the sticks gives you the triangle, and the deck and the HUD are just those are, I'm sure you know which ones those are. So, and yeah, it's spiral. Yep. And you'll see that coordinate with the HUD as well, right? So you can look at this, you can see when the spiral turns either red or green, that's when you should get that marker on your screen as well. So it's having the indicator for spirals a little redundant. If you're running the HUD, you kind of don't need it. But yeah.
I like the HUD because I can foretell when there's a setup going to occur just by looking at the dynamics. Let's say I see the spike turn red. I'm going to look at the Matador to turn red, which will create a spiral. And we used to trade just the spike alone a lot, but then we decided to create something different, and that's where the trio came from. And it became, even now that you're trading the ES and I'm looking at it, you did a remarkable job. Are you profitable today? If you don't mind saying, and you don't have to, good. We want, and people can talk and BS but we truly, even when we talk to Ninja, and we're a vendor for them, and it's not like we're tooting our horn, but we just said we don't want to be selling $5,000, $8,000 systems and lining our pockets with money, and the systems lose virtually every day, and that was the truth. And I've bought those systems more than 10,000. And they'll work for a week. And I'm not just bad mouthing. There's some decent systems, but you pay for them. And we decided, at least for now, we're not going to sell $5,000 worth of indicators and then charge $300 for the room. We want to make this available to more people. And we will limit the room size because we don't want to become a self-fulfilling prophecy for market makers. Now, you have to have a lot of people to do that, because the commercials, which is mostly the banks, but there's some big traders, they won't trade 10 contracts. They'll do 500 contracts. And they don't do it. The banks, if you think of the algos are self-sufficient. These guys are not necessarily smart guys. The algos run themselves and they chase stops, but we're okay with that because we understand that, and that's our goal. It looks for things. They never touch it. And if they do touch it, they get fired. If they do something outside of the parameters of the bank, they won't keep their job. Their job is to administer the algos. Our job is, we know they do things at the half hour and the hour within reason, and we want to avail ourselves of that. And we want to teach people, and we want to learn from people. Okay, it's 10:05. I'm going to officially, and I have already, stop trading. But does anyone else have questions?
I just a quick note. I didn't put on this message board yet, but I did update the assembly. So it'll give you a message if you're not running Unirinco. But other than that, it won't give you any error messages or change the buttons red now if you are running some kind of different Unirinco setup. So that assembly's out there as of this morning. You guys feel free to run it if you want to. If not, there's no actual changes to it right now that would affect how the indicators work. So just keep that in mind. So it's not a necessity to update the assembly if you don't want to. Cool. All right. Yeah. And you guys got any questions? Hit up the message board. You guys got the number. You guys just give me a call and we'll get done what we can do.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate all of you. And for the guys that aren't chatting, feel free to chat. You'll learn more, and you'll have questions. And we want to, just like Enoch's, ask legitimate questions. What is that red diamond? We want the questions. We really appreciate you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow. And we'll probably start about 8:30 tomorrow again, and watch the 8:30 session to see if we can pick some trades. Again, on Fridays, you have to be, and you're already cognizant of that, you have to be very careful and get out early. That's our motto. We are going to open on Fridays. Many people don't, but our system can hand select some trades. Okay? Take care. Have a good day. Goodbye.
All right, guys.